Welcome to the Success Journey Show. Let's travel together through the lives of individuals on the road to success.
Yo, what's going on, travelers? Ricky Ventures and Marlon Madden, and we're back with you for another episode of the Success Journey Show. Marlon, what's good, bro? How you doing today?
Man, we just had as people already know, we pre-record. We just had an amazing episode. This is going to be crazy. I know y'all see The Last Chance U, and you didn't hear Coach Rob talk a lot, but today he got the chance to tell his story. Dropped a lot of nuggets, Rick, and I'm fired up, and I just want these people to hear about it, man. But what's going on with you?
Dude, man, we're just going through, just excited, man. Every day getting orders on this elite swing trainer. Just did a training this weekend. Shout out to TA, Tacoma Academy baseball team. They had us come in and do a whole clinic with them this weekend. So, man, it was great, man. All these guys, man, just learning, growing. So, and then we're getting the word out, man. We made some moves, some business decisions. I'm learning a lot on the business side, and we're in tax season now, and all those different things. And it's just learning and growth, man. And then work is crazy as well, man. It's good, but it keeps you learning and growing, and that's it. That's my theme, man. Learning and growing, and that's it. So, other than that, I'm good. What about yourself, man? And also I'm taxi.
Yeah, I'm on his taxes. Yeah, taxes is crazy. I just got Rick. Just to let you know, I got a couple letters over here for the Success Journey Show, for all our different businesses that we have to take care of. So the IRS, chill out. We coming with our taxes, right? But if you didn't understand what Rick was talking about, we are sponsored by Hit Doctor MD. Yes. And if you want to find out what the Hit Doctor MD, just go to hitdrmd.com. It is an elite swing trainer. It teaches you how to stay inside the ball. And the good thing about it is that the apparatus is being used for other things. So just go ahead and on Instagram, the Hit Doctor MD, on Facebook, the Hit Doctor MD. You'll see us everywhere. We're catching on like wildfire. People from Colorado sending, "Hey, we love your product." People from Texas. Texas is showing us some love, Rick.
Midwest,
Texas is showing us some love with a lot of
love.
A lot of love with they know baseball down there. If they're buying our product, they know baseball. So I guess we'll see. We'll shout out some other states when you guys start buying the product, but Texas is showing us a lot of love. So that's what it is, Rick. I'm just excited to be in this transformation or transitional period of our life where we're doing so many different things and making it all happen and learning at the same time.
Yes, sir, man. Love it. Well, hey, man, we ain't gonna belabor it any longer, man. I want to get to this episode. It's a nice full episode, meaning that it's long, man. So you guys gotta tune in. It's fun though. We recorded. We were in it for quite some time. So, man, enjoy this episode. And right after this commercial, man, you'll hear none other than Coach Rob. So, peace, guys. We'll talk soon.
All right. Hey, Ricky and I can run our mouth all day, but we know who and what you want to see, right? Hey, check it out. We're excited for this one. We had Coach Mo on the show, and it was only right that now we got Coach Rob. You know what I'm saying? Sir. Because we definitely want to get the trifecta. Hey, Coach Ken, you next. So when you watch this, I don't care how much you don't like being on the podcast and all that, you gonna be on this one right here. Hey, Coach Rob, man, Ricky and I are so excited to have you on, brother.
I'm excited to be here. Anytime I can talk to some hoop heads and people that followed and supported the show for more reasons than just brothers hooping, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in to get the correct messages out at all times, using basketball as a tool to do it.
Yes, sir.
I love it. The bigger story, the bigger picture, man. I love it. Man, why don't you start off by just sharing with all of our travelers, we call them travelers, our listeners around the world, just a little bit about yourself, right?
I'm from Kansas City. I was born in Kansas City. My pops, he was a cop in Kansas City, and then he got a job out in Leavenworth. And Leavenworth's known to have like the biggest federal penitentiary like in America. That's where you went. If you really acted up, they sent you to Leavenworth. So my dad worked there, so he was a cop and he was that. So I grew up in that area. And so I'm from the Kansas City area, but Dad got good at what he used to do. And so we moved around when I got to my teenage years, and I spent a year in Oklahoma. I spent a couple years in Lompoc, California. I've been in Santa Maria, California, Santa Barbara area, mostly Cali since I was like 16, 17, but my entire family are at the crib in Kansas. Like my mom was there, my brothers, my uncles, my aunts. Oh, wow. So shout out to LV. That's where I'm from, Leavenworth, Kansas. So I'm a Midwestern kid that just got seasoned on the West Coast. I came out here in like 89 in California, and hey, it's different going from Kansas City to California. Especially Dad moved us up to the night. It's like Santa Barbara County might be the nicest place on the planet. I was there, and the first day of school, man, I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away by the weather. It was crazy weather. I could see dang near the beach from the high school.
Yes, sir.
And day one, man, like girls was wearing shirts with bathing suits underneath. And
wait a minute.
I was like, oh, like this is what we doing? Like this is what we doing. This is what we doing. Okay. So it was a cool experience, man. But my pops loved sports, and when he grew up, he had to work for the family, so he really didn't get an opportunity to play like he wanted to, although he was a big athletic dude. But he loved sports, and my dad made sure I could play basketball. By him doing that, as I got older, like I figured out like I got to do the same, and not necessarily for my kids, but hell, all kids. My dad made sure like I could play sports. Even when I was in high school, he would be like, you go to practice? Yeah. You pass your class? Yeah. All right, well, here's $20. As long as you grinding athletically and acting right, like I'm gonna take care of you. My pop worked his ass off, so I had the opportunity to play basketball. And I was fortunate enough to kind of get that at a younger age.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times you don't see it till like you're 40, you're old. But in my early 20s, looking around at my friends and some of them dudes who didn't have no pops or they didn't have a relationship like I had, like I was so blessed, and my dad set that foundation for me in so many different ways, So Coach Rob's a kid from the Midwest with a dad who took care. Not to say my mom did. My mom was the most incredible woman on the planet, but made sure I got to practice. You know what I'm saying? And he made sure I never talked back to a coach. I'm a loose screw, man, and Ted used to tighten me up daily. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for Pops, man. He used to tighten a brother up, man. So I played basketball in high school. I played at a community college. I played at Stephen F. Austin State down in Texas before I finished up at UC Riverside. When I was at UC Riverside, I met my wife. She's on a softball team. We had matched up. It was one of those things like we're gonna hang out for a minute, and then 25 years later, I just got off the phone with her. You know what I mean? So, we still going at each other, getting buckets, yo. Me and Kristen. So my wife.
Yes, sir.
We've been married since '97, man. And so I met her there. I got 3 kids. My first one, man, I was playing and coaching in the USBL for the Columbus Cagers. I was like the assistant GM, and I was trying to play a little bit, and I ended up being the coach of that team. And when I was the coach, my wife called me up. She's like, "Hey, like we're pregnant," and that took everything in a different direction because I was still trying to hoop, like I'm trying to hoop. I'm talking to an agent. I might be in Belgium in 2 weeks. Like I'm trying to do some stuff, right?
Yeah.
She called with that. But I knew I wasn't going to the association. That's different. Like the league is different. Dudes think they can play. Like that's different. You know what I mean?
We gotta
like,
talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. The NBA is something else, man. I'm like, I could play there for a night or two, but 82 of them? Oh, hell. I mean, 82, like game 67, ain't nothing working. You know what I mean?
Right?
And them dudes are they're so incredibly talented and athletic with size and all that they can play like 80 games, And guys like us who play Division I basketball, like we can play in the NBA for a game or two, no doubt, but got to be something special to be able to do that for
distance,
every day. So when she said we was pregnant, I came home and I was kind of figure it out. When I came back, she had a doctor's appointment. This is what changed my life in terms of coaching. So my wife has a doctor's appointment and we're out like in San Bernardino County. If you know anything about San Bernardino, like
I know San Bernardino.
Yeah, just don't go. So
it's the hood.
So we didn't, of course, like I'm 24 or 25 and so is she, and she's getting her teaching credentials. She doesn't have a full-time job. And so we don't have health insurance. So I go out to the county at San Bernardino, the county health spot. Man, I'm in there like 15 minutes and I'm like, yo, this ain't it, bro. Like, I got to get a job like right now. Like this, can't come back here. No offense against the people working there, but like, no, like I can't do that. And so that fall of 98, my wife was pregnant. She was expecting about to have a kid. A friend of mine called up and was like, there's this high school open, like for a high school job. And I wanted to play and I wanted to coach college because right before I went to the USBL, I was assistant coach at a junior college up in the Central Coast. And I was on that path. But when I went to that interview, and they was like, yeah, we have a head position and, this and that. And we want to talk to you about our healthcare plan. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah. What you got? Yeah.
Like, wait, hold up, man. Like, that changed everything. Like, it changed everything. I went from wanting to get buckets to figuring out, like, no, I'm just trying to get some HMOs.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what HMO was. But I was like, I just know if I paid $7 on this copay, I didn't have to go up to San Bernardino. So,
yeah.
So I became a coach. And I tell you, when I took the job as a high school coach, I was 25 years old. And they hired me as the head high school coach. And I really thought I would be there for a year. Like, I'm going to do this for a year. And then I'm back on the path, whether I be at hooping or I was going to do something in college. And I just stayed. And I was a high school head coach for 20 years. At the high school level. Absolute incredible experience for so many different reasons, basketball wise, but growing educationally. It turned me into a lifelong learner. Like being an educator, you have to be a lifelong learner. I mean, yearly you have to learn, especially in the landscape of teaching kids and education, because it changes like all the time. Like my first classroom I went in, them desks was old. Them books was this thick. You know what I'm saying? Board up in there. And then think like the last year I taught. I mean, we on iPads. The books is digital. They're not listening to anything that's longer than 30 seconds in a clip.
Yes, sir.
So I got to see the evolution like of that in the classroom. And I evolved as well, like as an educator. And in 2004 or 2005, my wife went to get her master's. And so everybody told me, all right, get your master's in PE. And that way you can teach at the junior college level. That's what I was going to do. So we both signed up. And I was 2 classes short on my undergrad for PE. Like they wanted me to take 2 classes and then do the PE. Because my undergrad is in sociology and ethnic studies. And so they's like, but you can go on this other path with instruction and curriculum for teaching. And so I was like, I'm not taking an extra class, especially because, we was young in the teaching game. Them classes is like a rack, like like that's $1,000. Like that's a lot.
A
lot. Back then that's half of them 20s on your expedition.
Yes.
so that's a lot of money, man. So I went in that direction, and that's where like I talk about my coaching career like after that.
Mm.
I wasn't a coach until I became a good teacher. Like when I first started like coaching, I would, I pick up the whistle, I get dudes to play hard, but I wasn't teaching. I was just yelling at dudes to run to places. I wasn't breaking things down. I wasn't individual, small group, whole group, macro to micro. I wasn't planning correctly. I didn't know what my outcome was going to be. So how are you going to know what your objectives are? And so it was, but getting a master's degree like flipped all that. About halfway through getting my master's degree, I'm sitting there listening to this teacher, and he's talking, and all I hear is basketball. He's anything about basketball. He's talking about how there's standards and there's state standards, and this is the outcome the state wants, and this is the objectives through curriculum that they're going to do that. These are the different instruction ways they're going to get across to kids, and all I'm hearing is basketball. From that moment on, for the next year of that master's program, I don't know what they said about education. I used everything they were saying in terms of teaching kids how to play hoops. And after that, I took that out of that classroom and then put it on the court. And that's when I really became a coach. When I said, all right, here's our outcome. Here's my 5 objectives to meet that outcome. Like, I got 11 kids here. All of you learn different. All of you are not the same. Like, how can I teach you to best that you got? Are you audio? Are you visual? Do you need to touch? Do I have to explain it to you first? Do you have to run through it first? Like figuring out how kids learn and being able to build that bridge with them that way so that they can learn. Creating a learning environment. Gym is a learning environment. The rectangle is a learning environment, no different than a classroom. It's like, how am I going to create that? Like, what do I want my classroom to feel like when you come in? Is it a place where you're ready to learn? Are you comfortable with it? And I got all that from being in the classroom and teaching. And so my coaching career really started about 2006, 2007, although I coached for like 8 years before that. I was successful too. Like I was winning games. I was going to playoffs. I was. But when I look back, gosh, it's crazy. When I look back, if you ask me, like I knew everything there was to know about basketball from 1998 to 2005. Like I knew it all, right? But I wasn't doing anything. And then since then, like you ask me now, like, oh my God, I know nothing. Like, this game. But then I became more successful, and in that, like that's life. The moment you humble yourself, you learn. And the moment I humbled myself and was like, I'm not that guy. I'm going to use this. And I became a better teacher, which made me a better coach. And now flip that though, if you want to go even further, craziest thing out of all that is that I learned the opposite to do in the classroom. Because I was a teacher. I mean, I've taught senior English, I've taught history, I've taught PE, I've taught health, I've taught
helping them kids
things because I have various credentials. What I learned was like kids in the classroom need more coaching.
Yeah.
Need more teaching. And so like that was my model. I just flipped the whole thing. So the last 10 years I was in a high school, I'm just motivating dudes in the classroom. Like, like I don't even care if you write it correctly. Just write it. I'm just getting you motivated just to put pen to paper, just to type it out. I don't care if it's all wrong. Let's just get motivated. Let's just row hard. Let's see what happens. And that's what you got to do with the kids in the classroom. Now, on the basketball court, for the most part, dudes are motivated for the most part, especially when there's competition involved.
Yeah.
If there's one spot and 2 dudes, then like it's on, right? And so in the classroom, though, like I just had to get them to do it. And so I would coach. And so what I say is there's 24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
Oh, and those 24 hours, now that I teach my kids for 2 hours a day on the basketball. And then I coach them for the two. Like practice just got over. That's when coaching starts. Now I got to motivate these brothers to do this and that and explain to them why to do this and that. Like I got to coach them up. They got to understand like so many different aspects. I'm motivating them to do right, like right now. Like right until tomorrow. Now, tomorrow when I grab a whistle, now they're going to do right because they want to play Wednesday. So I can work with that. But so that's pretty much like my philosophy and how I do it. Like I'm gonna teach on the court and I'm gonna coach off. And if I'm in the classroom, I'm gonna coach the heck out of you. And motivated just to do like something. Because if a teacher's any good, they'll look at what you did wrong and help you fix it.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to motivate kids to do it though. Like just like, don't be afraid to fail. But don't worry. Get your shots up in the classroom. Get them up. You know, you might mess it up, but if I'm any good, I'm gonna break down what you did and let's get better.
Show you what to do. Yeah, exactly.
Let's get better at that. If you ain't no good as a teacher, you be like F and keep it pushing. And unfortunately, half the teachers and I'm in education, half are like that. It's just what it is,
man.
So that explains a lot. See, now when people watch Last Chance U, they're gonna understand why every time they're in that computer room or whatever, and you're teaching those knuckleheads. What you see, we're in a classroom environment. Like I'm coaching them. Like I'm coaching them up to finish what it is. I'm not getting into the exact way, how to break that sentence down or how to get your citation right. Like, nah, like I'm motivating you to do it. Like, let's do it. Because once you have something out there, now we can refine it and now we can work with it. I just need something to work with. You can't work with zero. I'm trying to get brothers to figure out, man, like I can't work with nothing. Like you got to bring something to you got something. Even if you just bring in the forks to the potluck, just bring the forks.
Bring something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Each of it is food, but you got to bring forks.
Just something, bro. Just something.
How was that transition from high school, 20 years, to now coaching the older guys? Where I'm going on a limb and saying like the drive is a little bit different, I assume, from players from a high school level than from a college level in terms of why they're there. But what have you seen? I don't want to put that in you, man. Like, what are you seeing in that?
They're completely different levels, and for a plethora of reasons. The high school it's a little bit more pure, and its intentions, and what it is. It's more participatory. It's you're going to coach a high school team and maybe one or two guys might play college basketball on that team. So that experience that they're having is something different. And what you're providing them is something different. Not to say you don't want to win, because you want to win. But their attitudes at the high school level are completely different than the kid's attitude when they get to the college level. And also in high school, you have to deal with the most, oh my God, you got to deal with parents. And there's no getting around it. Like I did it for 20 years. There's no getting around dealing with parents, because if a kid is really good, you're going to have to deal with his parents.
Yes, sir.
There's no, I wish you could be like, you know what, drop your kid off, I'll coach him. But no one's coming. If I got like a really, really good ninth grader, like a kid comes in and I know he's going to play college basketball one day. Well, that was a plan. Like they're not showing up at your school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're having conversations with families and AAU coaches and all kind of stuff, all before any of this happens.
Correct.
It's you in all better terms, like you literally got to get in bed with like 6 families. Have a really good high school team, So that was different. And in college, I don't have to talk to, I don't mind talking to parents. I don't, but I don't have to listen to any of them at any time.
Yeah.
Like nothing. I will, because they trusted me. The kids in the gym today, they came to my college. They trusted me in that sense. Okay. So I'm going to talk. But, if they want to talk about anything else, I'm just like, hey, you can shut up for the most part. Like, you can go to another college if you like, you know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm going to do. You ain't you ain't signing no checks. You ain't going to no board. You know, you ain't principal. Tell me I yelled at your kids. Like, none of that happened. Because I'm coming at your kid's dome today. Ain't nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it, but trying to move him on. And so it's a big difference. And at a high level in high school, because the last couple of years I was a pretty high level coach. It's different though. When you get to the highest levels, when you're talking about California, like an open division, Division I teams, it's competitive, it's real, it's raw. It's not like, it's not participatory. I'm gonna tell you that. When you roll up in Sierra Canyon and play them dudes, it's not modern day. No, it's not like, hey, you get an award or everybody's happy you there. Like, no, you better come with some dudes, like real. And when you get to the lower divisions, not so much. And in college, what I enjoyed the most about like the transition is just kind of letting down like my filter, like a little bit. Because in high school, you have to have a serious filter. Serious filter. Like
the politics involved and all of that.
The conversation or the words that's going on in my head are different than the ones that's coming out of my like at all times. Like there's somebody like doing the voiceover, hitting the PG button on me in high school the whole time. You know? Like it's one of those. Then when you get to college, like I remember like Mo don't cuss. And I was with Mo for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Mo don't cuss, but he yells at you in a way where you're getting cussed out.
Yeah, you feel like you're getting cussed out.
I don't know how he does it, but like I'll be like,
the words like good night.
He just cussed this dude out. And I'll be like, hold on, he didn't say no cuss words. Like, how's that happen? Like, you know what? How's that happen? And I don't know how he doesn't do it, man. Mo is the best at it and I'll tell you right now in the history of history. Because like you ever listen to them old coaches from the South who don't cuss and they come up with these crazy words. Remember like Bobby Bowden be like, oh damn gummit and all that stuff. That wasn't getting cussed out. Like Mo will come at you and he twists his words and he'll be in the middle of something like, and then mother effers and I'm like, did he? He didn't, but he did. And it's wild, man. But he would come at him. But then when I got my opportunity, I'd be in practice or whatever. It took me a couple months to not think about, hey, is my administration going to come fire me?
I'm going to ask you, like how was that? Yeah.
How's he playing today? How's he acting when he comes in? Like, look at this kid's intentions today. Like, look what he brought to, our space. Now, I'm getting rid of all of that in my space today. Now, that's not going to happen. But in high school, you got to be like, well, hey, listen, you got to come at this way because one wrong thing, and they go into the principal, Jack, quickly. And
yes, sir.
Parents are different. I had my kid in 98, and I can tell you, like, our generation screwed it up. Like everybody my age who had kids, like we ruined it. We absolutely ruined it.
Talk about it.
Yeah, as parents, like we started giving kids like they had a say so in things, and then we wanted them to play so badly. Coming up, like our generation, like we thought it was owed to our kids to play sports. Like I wasn't like that because I was a coach and I was pissed because I had to act like that. But everyone around me, they thought it was owed. Like kids who play basketball, think about it, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade. They just get to keep playing 8th grade. Then they get to 9th grade and they're like, wait a minute, I ain't playing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like now it's a real issue. Like I'm supposed to be playing. Like I just get to play. Whereas in the 80s, when I first went to high school, like the first day of school, man, it was like, nah, you ain't playing. Like dudes like, you ain't playing. And the coach is like, you ain't playing. You a freshman. Like ain't no basketball. And juniors and seniors was like, oh, hell no, you ain't playing. You know what I mean? And then fast forward to the early 2000s and everybody thought like they should play. And I'm ashamed like that we let it happen. Like my boy, like the homies, like we let this happen. We let this happen to sports to where like kids have a feeling like about it and they all think that they should play. like at all levels. They think it's their right to get to participate in whatever it is they sign up for. And you see the effects of that in my junior college, like right now, because like all these kids, like almost every kid you coach is going to play at multiple high schools. They play on multiple travel ball teams.
Yeah.
Move around. They just move around until they get to do what they want to do.
Correct.
And it's, I mean, it can be a little bit disheartening, but that's the system. That's what we in. I got to coach that system. I can't fight it. Hey, the win has changed and we have to adjust ourselves. You ain't changing.
Yes.
We're not changing the win. And so now when they get to me, like they can't handle adversity.
Oh, dude.
They can't handle that adversity because like, oh, you ain't going to play me today? Well, they got to act out, because I'm supposed to get to play. And that's what you see with everybody like transferring around.
Yep.
And a lot of times, like kids go to the wrong places though for the wrong reasons. And I get why you should go. And you can't really ever knock a kid who isn't playing at all, who just wants to play. Like you at school and you get there and you're there a year or two and you're like, well, shoot, I'm never gonna play here. Let me go somewhere where I can play. Let me go down a level, or let me go mess with this coach, or I can see that. I'm not knocking anybody's transfer hustle. That's pretty cool, but because I think players and students should have rights. That's all.
Correct.
Like my kids in here, like they should be able to play anywhere they want to next year. Because if I get a call, I can go coach anywhere I want to.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's cool that we can bounce. Like even when I was in high school, like I can go get another high school job, but if the kid wants to transfer, the same problem wants to come down on.
Yeah.
If I leave my junior college today or next week and I go take another job and my kids here want to go transfer somewhere, well, the sanctioning body going to say something about that. So that's not cool, but transferring because you uncomfortable, like you talented.
Yeah.
You uncomfortable because you held to a standard. Like that started with our generation, like late 90s. Yeah, we screwed all that up. Like me and my boys, like, hey, we messed all that up. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of all of us. I'm ashamed, like how we let this happen. Like how we let it happen to where when I first started coaching, a parent would walk in and they would say to me, what'd my kid do? Towards the end, oh, hell no. They would walk in and it'd be like, what did I do? What the kid did. Like if I got in trouble at school with my pops and in the late 80s.
It was like, what did you do?
No, my dad, he did what?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. There was no defending me in that principle.
No.
There was none.
There was never that. And my dad would get home, and sometimes, because hey man, a brother used to get in trouble a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. So we get home. Sometimes he'd be like, "Man, that principal tripping." Like he tripping. He still hit me in the back of my head though, just for making him go up there though, because my dad was gonna put hands on me regardless. He'd be like, "Man, that dude tripping ain't your fault. Come here, don't do that again." And so that's how it went down. But towards the end, like a family would walk into my office or walk into the principal's office in high school, and I was to blame. Period.
Yeah.
I was to blame. What did I do? What did I say? It's never what their kid
did.
Yeah. And that was that shift that happened to where like towards the end of high school, I didn't want no more part. I didn't want it.
Especially when at that elite level where this kid is super nice and his dad, you sit him on the bench because he came to practice and didn't want to run whatever play or whatever the situation. You tell him, yo, you don't just jack up threes. You need to pass the ball as a point guard. And now this kid is looking at you. You're sitting on the bench and his dad's like, yo, you're not playing him? What did you? Yeah.
Yeah, they looking at me like I'm to blame. And so the coaches are now to blame. The coaches are to blame. The players aren't to blame. And that's what's messed up is like the family. It's the family, dog. Like it's the family. If you can't come into my practices and you can't just be like, all right, yes, coach, I'm gonna go do this, do that. Well, that's happening before you even get to my practice. And so that's a lot of what me and Mo were seeing at JUCO. And that's what we're fixing. You know, we're trying to help them kids handle adversity.
Yeah.
There's no more participating. You know, life ain't gonna work out like you want it to. I turned 50 in a couple days. Ain't nothing working like I wanted it to.
Yeah, yeah.
I ain't gonna say it ain't working though. I ain't gonna say it's not working. But I'm saying like my plan, oh hell no, that been gone.
I wasn't gone.
Since you heard we're pregnant.
My plan been gone, dog. Like the last time I had a plan, man, Clinton was playing the saxophone. You know what I'm saying? Like
you gave that plan that night too. You were like,
it's been a minute since like my plan came to fruition. You know, like everything I've tried to do, like I've been hit with a wall. And we all are. Like that's how it works. Like obstacles are going to be in our way. And that's what we're trying to give to these kids. Like that's an obstacle. Like you want to go to Division I level? Well, here's your obstacle. It might be academics, you know?
Yeah.
It might be your temper. It might be your social life. Yeah. Or it might be that you take bad shots. You know what I mean? Like you have to, now I got to call you on it. How you going to react?
Correct.
Yeah.
At the JUCO level, we see it way more than any other level.
I could believe it.
Yeah, because like you get the 4-year level with scholarships, you can pick and choose.
Correct.
You can really pick and choose. You'd be like, no, that kid got an attitude. There's another kid in these 50 states who's 6'4", 200 pounds that can make a shot. Let me get a kid who doesn't have like that going on. But at JUCO, nah, if that kid's really talented, something's wrong if he's in my gym. Something's wrong. You ain't gonna come in here 6'8" with game and just be like, yes, coach, and jump stop and do your English paper. And it don't work like that. It's a lot. You know, it's a lot. And so I gotta coach them through that. I gotta teach them on the court about basketball, but then I gotta coach them for them other 22 hours on how to handle adversity. And
that's the biggest thing, man.
About where I'm at.
Yeah, that adversity, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because that's the biggest thing that I know I focus on for my kids. Because I look back and I reflect on my life. I was like, adversity is what made me. Like adversity is what gave me my drive. Adversity was giving me my purpose, my passion, like all those things. I can see all the adversity. Like that's what shaped me to be the man that I am. And I'm like, okay, my kids live in a total, like in a different environment. They're exposed to a lot more things, right? Things are a little bit easier for them. I mean, every generation says it's easier for the next generation, right? Which it truly is. It should be in progression.
And it should
right?
be. And it should be.
Right? But at the same time, it's like, man, I told my wife, I said, she was like, oh, maybe we should have, a breakfast schedule for them in the morning, and then they can get this. I'm like, nah, we got to create some type of lack somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm not doing this, man.
Yeah, I can remember kids in elementary school. My boy was like, "Oh, this teacher is bad. We got to get him out that classroom." I'm like, "Fail his ass." Fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So it's at that the whole part of getting these.
Did it work?
Your obstacles. Actually, he hated school after that.
Man,
I probably should have went in a different direction. You know what I mean? That was a bad experience. Like second grade or third grade was a bad experience. Never liked school after. My other kid, you could do whatever, and he'd be like, he's gonna fight through. But my oldest one, he was like, "Oh no, I don't like school no more." I was like, "Damn, it took me like 10 years to get him to like school again." So,
oh man.
In retrospect, but he is tough though. I ain't saying he's tough, but he academically, I probably should have took him out that teacher's class. Yeah, my wife was right. She's pretty smart.
Thank you for listening to the Success Journey Show. Please follow us on our social media on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at The Success Journey Show. Also, check out our website at thesuccessjourneyshow.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy the rest of the show.
Hey, Coach. Now let's shift this. I want to know your humility, right? You're coaching there, you're coaching 20 years, you come to college, and then you end up with Mo.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing, right? I don't think in the Netflix series, I think you talk more here than I think in the Netflix series. I'm not saying that you didn't talk, but we saw a guy that was just just like, okay, Scottie Pippen kind of had messed up right now, but but we saw the Scottie Pippen, and you just came in and said, okay, what they need their clothes washed. I got it.
What they need, what they need, and that's something I was experienced, and I'd won at the high school level. And when I went to college, first of all, I was grateful. I mean, grateful to have the opportunity. Now, I had some bumps. I had some adversity my last year of high school. I was let go of that job. And I had no job. And so I reached out to over like 150 colleges the summer of 2019. And it was just no. And so when I heard a yes, first of all, I was just grateful. I was grateful, and I was humbled to know what I got from being a lifelong learner is that I didn't know everything about junior college. I especially didn't know everything about East LA Community College. So I came in, and believe it or not, like for the first month I was even there, like I didn't even tell a kid what he should do or not do. For a whole month. I just watched every kid play basketball and just took notes. And I did those little things when I came in, right? So that Mo knew, because there can also be like, Mo's a great coach, right? Like Mo is a great coach, but there can also be like, this coach just comes in. I mean, I was the California State High School Coach of the Year when I got let go. So there's also that is like, I don't want to step on his toes.
Yeah.
I want to do that because it's impossible not to feel some sort of way about the coach who comes in here who knows what the hell he's doing. What's he think about how I'm doing it?
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure, like, nah, man, I'm just whatever. I'm just making it bigger. What you saying? I'm making your voice louder.
Yeah.
And when I walked in I just took a step back from everything and just grinded out the little things to earn my way. I just wanted to like earn it first. I wanted to earn my way and set that foundation. Because one thing I understand about any situation you're in, relationship, basketball, whatever, like you have to set a foundation.
Yeah.
Very first thing you got to do. And if setting a foundation is slow, it's tedious, but it's important. And so I didn't tell a kid nothing for a whole month. I just made notes because I thought to myself, the first time I tell Joe Hampton, the first time I tell Deshaun or Malik, when I tell them something, hey, my ass better be right. That first one, I better be correct, because if I'm not, and I say the wrong things and they do the wrong things and this thing blows up, ain't nobody listening to me for the rest of the year. So I was in no hurry to be wrong.
Yeah.
Too many young coaches are just in a hurry to get out
wrong.
What they think. Well, this is how it should be. Or coach, you should be doing this. You should be doing that. Like, nah, man, just shut up and watch, dog. Like, just like be quiet and watch. And when someone asks something, all right, go ahead and let that expertise out, But don't be in a hurry to say something wrong when you're new to that job or new to that situation. Build that foundation of trust. And that's what you got to do with these players. Because when I came at them, like the first time, and I'm right, and it works, and it's helpful, now all of a sudden the bridge is built for real.
Yeah.
And
now they're looking for you to say something.
Now I got something we can communicate. Communicate with. But going in there being humble, I'm humble because like basketball in itself is humbling. I wanted to play in the NBA. I wanted to play in the Final Four. I gave every inch of what I had to do that. Like when I look back at my playing career, I got injured a lot too. That had something to do with it. But when I look back, like I gave everything I had. And I got that from my pops. Like my dad instilled that in me. My dad never missed a day of work, ever, like ever. I've never seen him miss a day of work in my life. And so I got up and I went to work. He told me basketball was my job. I never missed a day of work. I always did the extra. I used to make 500, 1,000 jump shots a day. I used to lift at night when nobody else was doing. I used to pull my car up to the hoop at the park and put the lights on. And,
yes, sir.
And shoot free throws. You know what I'm saying? Like I put it in, and when I couldn't play anymore, when I wasn't good enough, I was okay with it because of what I did.
Yeah.
You know, but that process humbled me. Not making it humbled me to be like, I'm not good enough. And when you're not good enough, you better start doing the little things. I'm trying to compete. So when I went to the Division I level and I was playing and I wasn't getting the minutes that I wanted, everybody was as good as I was. Maybe even hey, they were as good as I was, and it was bigger. So now I got to do all these details and little things to get on the court. You know what I mean? Like I got to be the teacher's pet. You know, I used to drive the teacher crazy my whole life. Now I'm in college. I'm like, yes, coach, let me get the water. Like I'm doing everything. Before that, up until I got to Division I, like I'm like F coach. You know, I'm like, give me. You get to the D1 level, I'm trying to figure it out. So basketball in itself is just so humbling because you're not going to make it. How many guys make it? I mean, so all of us play, very few make it.
Yes, sir.
And so when you take that in, that can be humbling. And then when I started coaching, you start losing games. And when I first started coaching, this is how arrogant I was. When I first started coaching, I swore I was playing. It was about me. But I mean, how can you blame me though? I was like 25 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So,
but if you'd have asked me, like, hey, where you playing Friday, Rob? I'd be like, oh, I'm playing over at West. Like I'm playing. But as I got older though, it'd be like, oh, hey, my team's playing. It's about the guys. I figured that out. But I was I wasn't too humble when I started coaching. That's for sure. But when you start losing games, it's humbling. And when you lose games like that, and I had some losing seasons, what are you gonna do? Like, you gonna not do it, or you gonna get better? And so once I figured out, like, I don't know it all, which all ties back to being a lifelong learner.
Sure. Yeah.
And when I got a master's degree, I figured out I had no idea what I was doing. Like coaching, like I had no idea what I was doing, and I was starting from scratch, and that was humbling as a coach.
Yeah.
That was really humbling as a coach. And so that built that foundation of being humble. And when I got to ELAC, I just wanted to help, and I was grateful. Like I know I'm talented enough to coach basketball, and I have the experience. I got that. But I was just so grateful to Coach Mo that hey, I was just going to do whatever he needed. And not to mention, they was winning before I got there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I was going to change that. One day he asked me he goes, what are you doing here? Like, we're in the office. He's like, why are you here? Like, what do you? Because I'm like, hey man, I'll be right back. I probably went to go hang something up or sweep something or do something, right? That I didn't even need to do. And he's like, why are you here? And I told him that day, like, I'm not here to help you win. Like, win regardless. Like, I told him, I honestly believe that I was there to make sure he didn't lose. I was just there to make sure and to help him not lose the details. That's what it is. It's him not worrying about the locker room or worrying about the travel schedule or worrying about who's washing what, or what are we going to wear the next day, or not worried about if Malik's a geo class, because he's got so much of his other stuff like going on. I needed Mo to just be Mo for 2 hours when he walks in and not worry about all that other stuff. And that's what a good assistant does. Not to say I couldn't be a head coach. I was watching him do stuff all the time. I'm like, hell, what the hell you doing, Mo? Like in my mind, like, what you doing, dog? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? But when it came out of my mouth, I'm like, Malik, you better go over there and do what coach just said. You know what I'm saying? I'm a coach, so of course I got my own opinion. But to be assistant, your job as assistant is only to make the head guy look good. That's your only job.
Yeah, that's your job.
Because if he wins, I win. If he wins, I win. And I figured that out right before I got there too, Mo, that for me to be successful in life, everybody around me has to win. Get me. I have nothing to do with it. If everybody I touch is better because I'm in their life or I'm in their life that day or I'm a part of whatever project they're doing, and if they're winning, then how do I not win? Like if my players are winning in the classroom, if my players are winning on the court, then I win. If Mo is winning, then like I'm winning. Like if my kids, 24, 21, I just sent one off. He just sent him off to college. He got his AAD and he's at Clark Atlanta. And he went to Clark. So ain't telling what he's doing right now. Ain't no telling. I went to Atlanta for the Freaknik in '94. Hey,
oh boy! Hey, you can't even tell them stories,
bruh. Hey man, but there was no phones. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, but the brothers still had their
people going around the camcorder.
I remember
that. Brothers had the camcorder like this big.
Yeah. On your shoulder.
Yeah, shoulder be separated at the end of the day. Holding that thing up. Yeah, but my son is there, but they didn't have any. That we were there, they didn't have no phones. So if you ask me, like, hell no, I didn't do nothing wrong that week. I'm good. No.
They still shut down Freaknik though.
But my kids, like, if my kids are doing well, then I win. Like, like if your kids ain't right, I don't care what I got. I don't care how successful I am. Like, I'm not winning if my boys ain't winning. Like, I'm not winning if my players aren't winning. I'm not winning if the maintenance guy's not winning, if the trainer is not winning, if the manager is not winning, if the English teacher is not winning. I got to help the English teacher help my kids. I got to win so that I'm winning. And so my whole thing was, how can I help Mo win? And that's what you got to do as an assistant. That's what you got to do to the boss.
Yeah.
I'm telling these kids, like, when you get a job, dude, you're going to be at the back of the bus, homie. Like that's where it's going to start. I know you think you're going to go in and just do whatever you want to do, but it's not going to happen. Yeah. So how do you help the person in front of you win?
Yeah.
And, dude, that's humbling.
That's humbling. That is humbling.
That is humbling
man.
To help that guy in front of me who ain't even the guy. You know what I mean? Like this dude, you know what I mean? Like if I'm on a Division I program, right, and there's 3 assistants there and I'm the 3rd assistant, I better help the 2nd and 1st assistant succeed.
You're not even helping the guy. Not
even the coach. I better help
the assistants
be successful. Because if we don't win a championship, ain't none of us going up the ladder.
Yep.
So it's humbling in that fact that I got to help everybody around me. And man, you know what though? It kind of takes the pressure off. It takes the pressure off of me to be great because my pressure is making you guys like how I'm great today on your podcast. How I help you know what I'm saying? Because if y'all winning, just shoot, it's gonna circle back to me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So you know how I was gonna circle. You know how it's gonna circle back to you, Coach. I'm gonna say this right now. Do you have carpet in any of your locker rooms right now?
Oh yeah. You know what we do, but they're tearing my locker room down. I'm getting a new gym built right now.
Oh man, because I was gonna tell you, I saw what Mo did to you. Mo went and got that new vacuum. I was gonna donate a vacuum to you, Coach. I was gonna donate one to you.
Hey,
we're gonna find something to donate to you.
Hey, he called me up. He called me up with the FaceTime. Is like, hey Rob, check this out. And man, I'm looking at this sci-fi technology he got. He's doing that, and I'm looking, and it's not like we didn't have the money, yo. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Mo. Like we had money to buy 100 vacuum cleaners. This dude's at Home Depot buying parts to fix them over. Hey, when I walked in there that day in the summer when we got back from COVID, and he was fixing that vacuum cleaner, I'm looking at him. He goes, no, it's still good. I'm like, it's not good, but Mo got to be grinding, man. He got to be the underdog, no matter what. He's got to make himself the underdog, and that's what motivates him, man. It's one of the things I learned. I learned so much from Mo. He's such a good dude, and
he is.
And I miss him. It was time though. I mean, I can't be assistant forever. I don't mind being assistant, But
it was time. You did your season. It was your season in that phase. It was something you learned in that way, and then you take it to your team now, man. So what's one of the biggest things you took with all your experiences combined, and now you took to your current platform now? Like, what was the one or two things that you say, I got to make sure that I walk?
Man. Well,
I know you couldn't say nothing for the few months just watching everybody.
No. First, no, it's my show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's my show now. What I took when I first started was that the kids here, like, they want to win at junior college, but that's not the only reason they're here. Here because they want to go somewhere else, and winning means something to them in that moment, but in reality, it's almost secondary. For me, winning isn't secondary. Like, because I understand, like, if we don't win games and we're losing games, there's a reason why we're losing games. And the reason usually is, like, you could say the coaches or whatever, but the players aren't producing at a high enough level to win the games, which means you're not getting recruited at it. So what I took from my experiences from high school and with Mo is that I have to navigate those two parallel highways at all times. Like, the kid is trying to leave here and he's selfish, and we got to win games at the same time.
Wow.
So navigating that, going back and forth, it's incredibly difficult. Like, it's hard to do. It's very difficult to do. And it's why so many of us struggle, like, at this level. Because I understand why the kid is selfish. Like, no one's hopes and dreams was to come to MiraCosta Community College. There's not one kid in that gym who said, yeah, well, I can't wait to, like, when he was in high school, like, I can't wait to be at MiraCosta Community College. Like, they're here because they want to be somewhere else. Like, their first day in the gym here, they want to be somewhere else.
Yes, sir.
As at the 4-year, your first year is like, this is where I wanted to be. And this is what I want to do.
This is what I chose. Yeah.
There's a certain attitude, and spirit that comes with that. And so I'm always, that's what I took, is trying to go between that two. And then the other thing I took from my experiences was, like, being mad at young people is futile. It's absolutely futile. And so fellas, I literally wipe the board clean every single day with these young men. Every single day. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. I wipe the board clean. That don't mean my fuse gets shorter every day, because it does. Like, there'd be some days I'm like, this fool says one thing, I'm kicking him up out of here. But when he gets in there, though, I'm like, hey, if he's on, it's on. I got it.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing that I took with all those years of experience, is that you got to give them a chance, like, every day, to turn the corner. Like, you have to give the kids the chance to stop digging the hole, because that's the number one thing you got to do. And kid's digging himself a hole. All right, today I got to give him a chance to stop digging. If he stops digging, then we can get our way out of here.
Yeah.
So I wiped the slate clean. I had issues with a kid Friday night. When I say I had issues with this fool, oh my goodness, I had issues with this kid. And I got home Friday night, and my wife looked at me and she's like, well, how you going to wipe the slate clean on this one, coach? Like, that's what she said to me. And in that moment, I didn't know. Like, that, I didn't know. But I have to. I don't have a choice. Like, I've got to give him a chance to redeem himself at this level, junior college level. Now, if I give a kid a scholarship,
that's different.
That's different. Because once you give a kid a scholarship, like, I've done my job. Dude, you got a place to stay, you got something to eat, your school's getting paid for. If you play basketball now, you got to figure that out. Like, I did my job. I took care of it. Yeah. Here, man, these kids don't get nothing. They don't get anything. There's no scholarships.
They give,
Keep themselves tonight. They got to go pay their rent 2 days ago or 3 days ago because it's the first. Like, they're on their own here. And so, like, hey, man, I got to help them through that. And to do that, dude, you're going to have a short memory, like a defensive back, in the NFL. Short memory.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because these kids are going to need that extra each day. They need a clean slate. And I'm hoping like the kids I'm struggling with, like today's the day. Today's the day. This fool's heart is full and his eyes is clear. Like today's the day. Like
sir.
Like today's the day. And then I go home, I'm like, damn, today wasn't the day.
But Coach, you got to talk about your wife, man, because you don't see. I didn't see her a lot in the series, but what I gathered from it, same like Coach Mo and probably Coach Ken, that they're like some troopers, man.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about if you're really going to do this. Like if you're really going to coach like college athletics or high school at a high level, like if you're really, really going to do it. Now, I'm not saying help. Like, hey, I'm going to come over and assistant coach and I'll be there when practice starts. I leave when practice is over.
You're talking about full time.
Like, when's the game? Like, they might come to a summer league tournament. They might not. Them. I've had them coaches my whole life. They coach with good dudes, but they helping. They ain't coaching. They just helping.
Yeah.
If you're going to coach, hey, your family has to be a part of it. Like, everybody has to be a part of it. Like, your wife got to be on the coaching staff. Your kids got to be part of the coaching staff. Like, my kids went to more stuff. Like, they was part of it. Like, I didn't leave them. Like, I knew I was going to be gone 4 nights a week in the summer in high school. 5 straight weeks, I'm gone. Summer league, all that stuff you got to do in Cali. Nah, my kid was in the car. He going with me. Yeah, carry the bag, fool. That's your job. You coming with me. Yeah, I'm taking you to Dairy Queen after. But
yeah. Yeah, he'll remind you.
Yeah. You coming with me, you're going to be a part of it. And my wife, every team I've ever had, I find a way for her to connect with the players. For 25 straight years. I'm going to find a way, and each year is different. How can I get her to connect with the players? And like this year, her connection, and she absolutely loves it. She loves making these fools cookies. She loves making these dudes cookies. She made cookies for the team at the beginning of the season, and the cookies was fire. I don't even know how. I don't know what she made. I'm not sure. I don't know what brand it was. I don't know what she did, but the cookies was fire, and fools was getting physical over the last batch of cookies.
Oh wow!
You know what I mean? Like it's getting physical to get to the last little bits of them chocolate chip cookies. So I'm telling my wife about it, and she was like, "Well, I gotta make more cookies." And then after the next game, one of the players, like Mason, was like, "Coach," he yells at her, "Hey, Miss Rob, you got some more cookies?" Like that was the bridge this year that we had built. There's been years where it's like, hey, she helped do laundry at the house, like 3 at the crib, because brothers ain't got no washers and dryers.
Yeah.
And there's years where she would help with that. My wife's an incredible teacher. She's been an English teacher for 20-something years. And she also coached softball too, but she taught at a different high school than the one I taught at, kind of in the same area. But she would come help the dudes at study hall, like grade papers. And then she got a connection. So I'm trying to find a way to make her the assistant coach. And even this year, after we have a game, I'll be like, "Where are you going?" "Hey, I'll meet you there." And I'll buy her a drink, and then she tells me everything that went wrong. You know what I mean? Like, they're not moving the ball. They're not doing this. I'm like, "Yeah, babe. Yeah, and you know what? Hey, man, if she I don't even know if she's gonna listen to it, but she's completely wrong." But hey, but I'm right there, like, I know, man, they got to pass the ball in there more. And then in my mind, I'm like, they better not pass that ball to fool. We can't make a shot. You know what I'm saying? But I'm there with her, like, yeah, and so you got to make your family invested.
Yeah.
To be a coach. If you're really going to do it, you got to make them invested. And my wife has been very supportive, because before, when I was doing high school, I always took care of the kids with me. So it wasn't that much of a strain. But college, bro, like, I'm never home.
Yeah.
I spent 3.5 hours a day in my car for 3 years going. I lived in LA for one. Like, I'm never home. Like, when she would leave before me, we would see each other briefly in the mornings. This is for like 3 years. And then like, I wouldn't get home till 8, 9 o'clock at night. And I'd eat something. I'd talk to her for a couple minutes, it was, and she was tough through that. She's cool, man. Cause I mean, a woman ain't gonna leave you over that, but they can act funny style though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can, things don't, you get that shoulder when you get home.
Yeah.
When you get home.
Yeah. It's like, what
you ain't been there the whole day.
Yeah.
So it's, no, she was never like that. And this move for me being a head coach, like she threw all her chips in on this one. She's like, I'm in.
Because you guys moved from where? You guys moved from.
We was up in the Riverside area.
So not that far.
Not too far.
I lived in Temecula.
Oh, okay. We was over by Ontario Airport.
Yeah.
Fell, and right on the edge. And so we just moved down to Oceanside, and like she's on because she drives over to Corona still, like 4 or 5 days a week. Because she teaches over at she was at Centennial, and she just started the online part of that over there. But she's been in Corona Unified School District for 24 years.
How you like those prices of the house in Oceanside?
Bruh, man, it's a and one like when I moved, right, like you're gonna move to Oceanside. So if I'm gonna move to Oceanside, well, I'm gonna move to the ocean then. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna move to Oceanside. It'd be 20 minutes inland, So I started looking for a place where I could see the water. I want to see the water. Water. I want to feel it all. And I found me a place, man. But yo, it's it's real, man. When you shopping, it shouldn't even say like available. It should just say no Vaseline. That's what it should say. Because it's on the first, man, they run up in you down here, man.
I'm telling you. Oceanside's expensive. I had to move to Temecula. I couldn't do it. I was on the base, and I drove up to the base every day. And back to home, I was like, no, sir, I cannot buy these houses. First of all, they don't have AC over there because they say they close. So you don't probably have.
Oh, man, I'm sweating all AC. Summer, bro. I'm sweating. Like, hey, it's hot, dog. It's so hot at night, man. It's real. I don't care. And cold, too. Inside my house, it'd be like 50-something degrees when I get home. Like, how's that happening? Because none of the houses or apartments are built right.
Yeah.
Paper mache, like they ain't built to last down there. Ain't got no insulation. It's cold. It's hot. But hey, when I walk out my side door,
yes, sir,
like this,
and you look at the ocean,
I see the water. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, yeah, I'm good.
I see the water.
So you go downtown on Thursdays?
Oh my gosh, I be down at when we first get here, you're there all the time.
Yeah.
But I think I officially live in Oceanside now because now I'm like, why are these people parked in front of my spot? You know what I mean? Like, get the hell off my lawn. You know what I mean? Like, some of these out of towners. Like, why are these people coming from everywhere? They don't even live here. I might be real old now because I'm at other people coming here, but I'm enjoying it. I love living at the beach. It's
love it. But real quick question too: your kids. I mean, you're both you and your wife being athletic. Do your kids play anything? They go that route?
All of them had to play something.
Yeah,
all of them had to play something. Two of my kids are my natural kids, KJ and Justice. And then when my oldest son was 11 years home, he brought this kid home. He was a foster kid on the block, and he brought him home. And he was in my house for like a day, and I was like, "Oh hell no, I ain't sending this fool back." And so I took him in when he was 11, and he's 20, and he's graduated college at Whittier College, and he's doing real well, man. And so all three of my kids, though, like you're gonna play something.
Yeah,
you're gonna have something to go to, like every day, like, all the time, And my two of my boys really love it. They both play college football. They both liked it. One of them wasn't too much into sports, but up until he was 16, like I had him locked in.
Yeah.
So in his last year and a half of high school, I was like, all right, man, you did your thing. You don't get in no trouble. You're a good kid. Like you don't have to go to water polo practice tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. You know what I mean? You can hang it up if you want to. And so they all had to play something. But it's if they're not at practice, what are they going to be doing?
What are they doing? Yeah.
And so even when they was in elementary school and middle school, like if you get home and you ain't got nothing to do, then what exactly are you going to be doing?
Correct.
Like what is that? And so they had to be in something. I got to keep them in something. And sports is what I know. Like if I was a musician, maybe it was something different, you know?
Yeah.
Sports is what I know. So I was packing them up and I was taking them to practices my entire life. I've been on a court and field like my entire life.
That's how I feel right now. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah, and if you got kids, how old are your kids, bro?
So I have a 21, an 18, 11. He just got home. That's the call that you heard.
Yeah.
So my wife, he held it down because I had this and he had to go to practice from basketball from 7 to 9.
Yeah.
So I know I had to start this at 8:30. So they just got home. And then my daughter, I picked her up at 7 from her basketball practice. She does gymnastics, basketball, and swimming.
And sports now, like these things is cults, yo. Like this ain't, it used to be like you could sign up, you go for like 6 weeks, you play your sport, you get your little t-shirt, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, man, no, man. Now when you did like towards the end, like I'm Venmoing fools like $400 a month for you to go.
Yes, sir.
You know, like what the game is this?
Yeah.
It turned into something else. You there all the time.
Yeah.
Especially that cult that was football. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, yeah, I didn't get into it. Yeah,
but 5:30 to 9 o'clock every night, all day Saturday. It was that was a lot. But I mean, they didn't get no trouble, man. You know, they was in sports. I kept them in it for as long as I could.
Yeah. One last question before, because I know you gotta wrap.
Oh yeah.
Now that you had the next Netflix and you're celebrity, people see you and they think Netflix just dumped a bag on y'all, right?
Oh, they do. Everybody says that.
Yep. They dumped a bag on you, and now you walking around and people like, hey coach, can I get a pic with you? Because you're in Oceanside walking around.
Yeah,
I know they're asking.
Yeah. Hey, well, it's an interesting dynamic, you know, when you say like the word like celebrity. And you never think of yourself as one. You don't. But the interesting thing about like what me and Mo go through, basketball community is small.
Yes, sir.
It is. And you got to think everywhere I go, like people have watched the show.
Yes, sir.
If I wasn't in it, they'd have watched the show.
Yeah.
When I go into a gym, like everybody there saw Last Chance U.
Yes.
A youth tournament, they watched Last Chance U. I go to a high school game, it's Last Chance U. I've been to a Division I practices and many in the last 3 years. Every player on that court is like Coach Rob. I've been in airports where like Baylor recognized me. Their basketball team had recognized me, and I didn't even recognize them. So the basketball community is so small that I am recognizable in that, you know? So in that sense, like there's a little bit of celebrity like to it. Not saying I'm better than anybody, but I am recognizable.
Yeah.
But because Hoopers, man, we all watch and do the same things. But no, they didn't drop a bag on nobody. It's a documentary. In California, they can't pay you for documentaries. It's some crazy law. So it's
hey, come over here. We'll make a documentary. Yeah, I'll get you to college over here. We make a documentary. You get a bag, baby.
Yeah, they didn't pay us nothing. But the experience, that was an incredible experience. And it gave me a platform. Yeah. It gave me a platform. And what I mean by that, the last thing that if I could put out there, it was 2 different seasons. And in the first season, what I desperately wanted everyone to see was like the struggle that kids went through. Like when that was over, I was like, I sure hope that they see like how hard it is for this junior college kid. Like my thought was the kid, you know, like there's a lot going on in this kid's life. Like I hope the world sees that and then they support junior colleges wherever, because Like we're helping kids get from point A to point B. Like people are always like, they always want to throw money at programs or come up with these programs. And I'm looking around like for the last 25 years of my life. And I'm like, just put all your money in sports. Like, how come the youth sports, in the city ain't the biggest deal? Like you want to help kids, like pay coaches after school to coach kids and have leagues, like put money into fields and courts and leagues and put kids in like sports work. Like they work better than anything else. I mean, they work like sports. My man at USC did more than Martin Luther King when it came to football. Because as soon as Alabama desegregated, like the world changed.
Yes.
Sports did that. They can march all they want to, but as soon as them white boys was getting beat, they was like, oh, hold up, wait a minute. You got to change this whole thing up. And then all of a sudden, brothers was playing college football. You know what I mean? Sports changes everything. And so, like, I wanted the whole country to be like, oh, hey, we got community college.
Yeah.
Back this community college because these dudes are helping these guys.
Yes, sir.
This is a noble cause. Like,
yes, sir.
Like, because for everyone that we get right, like society don't have to get right. Like, and there's so many of us out there. We just need the support. But that's what I wanted to see, for season 1. Season 2, I wanted it more. I wanted it more to be on like not necessarily the academic aspect of it, but I wanted teachers to see it. I wanted the world and the community to see season 1 to see what they were going through. But when I started getting these interviews and everything, and I've have talked to a few people and even talked to some teachers on different conferences type things, I wanted every teacher in America to watch Last Chance U season 2. Every single one. And the next time that you say to a kid like, oh, he can't do it, or he doesn't care, or he doesn't try hard, or he doesn't have a good work ethic, like I want him to see that because like I'm on a campus now and academics is pretty high here. They're not messing around, right? They're not messing around. And I had a teacher say that one of my kids was lazy. And I thought to myself, there isn't one student on this campus that works harder than this kid.
Yeah.
There isn't one. I can guarantee there's not one student on this campus that works harder out of the 14 hours that they're up than this kid does right here. These fools work hard. And I need the teachers to see like, hey, these kids, they are working hard. Maybe they not might be working on chemistry or biology like you want them to. But that don't mean that they're not grinding and working hard.
Yeah.
And what all we want is as coaches for these dudes, I never want academics to be more important than their basketball. That'd be crazy to say that. Like, because basketball is what's going to get you your academics in the first place. Like yes. you gotta be able to hoop to get a scholarship. But what I'm trying to do is make their athletics, I'm trying to make their school as important eventually. Because as you know, all of us, at some point, hey, that knowledge is king. Yes. At some point in our lives where the education is the difference. Like it ain't how many buckets I scored when I was in college or high school. That don't even matter no more.
Nope.
But it's the education and the process of learning and being educated. And more importantly, like I'm trying to get to the dudes. One of my players said this like back in December, like, why you care so much that we go to college? And I told him like, more than anything, because you're going to a place and you're going to be surrounded by other people who are going to be successful. Yeah. Like, I want you to be in places where you're going to be like successful. Like when you go to college, like other people are on that same grind as you.
Yep.
With my own kids, my wife, you say like, why is it so important for our kids to finish school? And I was like, hey, this is the truth. This is going to sound crazy, fellas. But like, there's no scenario where a brother 18 to 23 ain't trying to chase women. There's no scenario. That's what it is. Like when you wake up in the morning, it's usually like the first thought. Like, you know what I mean? Like, scientifically proven. Like, dude is chasing women. And so my whole thought was with my sons, I tell my wife, like, hey, whoever they climbing up on top of gonna have a degree. Like, that's where I'm at. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what's gonna happen, but they gonna have a degree. Whether it keeps going or it's the end, or I got to be somebody's granddad, whatever. There's degrees involved.
We ain't talking about heat. We talking about degrees.
Degrees. Multiple degrees are involved in this relationship that's about to happen. And they brought some girls home. I'm like, man, I don't know. But then, because I'm like, I don't care, like, what she look like. I'm like, hey, what's her major?
Yeah.
Like, what's she major? What she want to be?
Yeah.
And then the more she talk, the prettier she get.
Yeah.
The more she talk, the prettier she get. I don't even care. I'm like, I don't care. You can bring that flat booty girl home. She got a poli-sci major.
There we go. Come on.
She poli-sci. I'm working with that. Like, I'm working with that. You bring that big booty girl home with the liberal arts, I'm good. What's she gonna do for you? What's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? What's she gonna do? Paint a picture? Come on, man. Come on, man. So, but that's what I want for the kids is because a lot of my guys are very talented and they're not too good academic. And so I want to put them in a position to where like they're surrounded by people who are successful.
Yeah.
And that's probably my biggest goal I have. And then I want teachers to recognize how hard a student athlete works.
Yeah.
What they go through in a day is nothing like their other students. Yeah. So when you're looking at it, even in high school, and it's definitely in college, when you're looking at that kid and be like, you know what? Hey, he's 4 paragraphs short on his 6-page paper. Okay, you got to call him on it because I'm going to call him on not touching the line on that sprint. I get it. Like, I understand that. But, like, what's he going through? You know, like, respect that kid's hustle. Like, you should have love for that student athlete. He was up running at 6 o'clock this morning. He was lifting weights at 8:30 this morning. He was working as hard as the pressure on this young man each day just to make a basket so he can afford to go to school. Like, respect these kids' hustle and help them, you know, because they need help. Like, they don't have it all. They're not a finished product. You know, they need help. So that's why I'm glad we got out of both those seasons. And it's for the kids. And it's cool being recognizable. Hell, I probably got this job because I was on Last Chance, so I can't be mad. You know? Yeah. I can't be mad. I tell you what is cool. Hey, I can call up pretty much any kid in the country and they know who I am if I want to recruit. That's cool. Like,
that's that Dion power.
If you had a son right now who's like 18, right? And he's at the high school or whatever. If he had one, he would know who I am. So if he was good and I called up, be like, oh, shoot, Coach Rob, like they would know that they're going to come play for you because that's a whole different thing. But I can get kids on the phone and that's pretty cool, man. Or I can get them to respond back on Twitter or Instagram post or something. Like I can get them to reach back out and that'll help me. And there's no amount of money in the world could have gave me that.
Correct.
Correct. And I know we got to pay our bills. You know, we all got to pay our bills. But I've never once thought of basketball as a way to make money. I never have. I mean, truth be told, like 90% of it would do us for free if they didn't pay us at all. We would just do it, anyway, you know. And so I've never done it. I've never done it for money. I know we got to get paid, like when we do it. But what Netflix has done is it's given me an opportunity to be in a position to where like I get to compete, and that's all Coach wants to do is I just want to compete. I just want to take a gun to a gunfight. Like that's all I want to do, man.
Yes, sir.
And now I can recruit and I can do that. I'm in a great position. We ain't win as many games as I want to win, but it's all part of the experience. Basketball is humbling.
Yeah. Yep.
I am humbled by my 11 losses, bruh.
Yes, sir.
I take responsibility for it. And you know what? Hey, I'm the problem. I'm going to fix it.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to fix it.
Well, Travelers, man, this has been a phenomenal session, man. Coach Rob, man, we really appreciate you.
I had the best time ever. Talking hoops and kids.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, Coach Ken. Yeah. Hey, Coach Rob.
You got to get Coach Ken on here.
We got to get
Coach Ken on here. Because Coach Ken, he goes off onto them Detroit stories. You're in. Like, you're in. When he starts talking Detroit, bruh, hey, man, every time we sit down, man, we be somewhere and And then, you know, a little crown might get poured and me and him get to talking. And his Detroit stories, just basketball and everything. Ken is the absolute greatest, man. Hey, I can't tell you how much I miss those guys, man. Like yeah, I do. I miss it. I don't miss listening to Mo yell all the time. No, that is for sure. That fool will yell at everybody, like all the time.
You think I want to be here?
Yeah, all the time.
I just missed my son's game.
Hey, man, you know, all of us have black fathers. And if you ever heard a black father get in an argument with a woman, they always leave and then they come back and they still arguing, like, and they pick it up where they left off. Yeah. Another thing. Hey, Mo every practice. He's the black father arguing with your mom, dog. Like it's that. You think it's over and he's walking away and the fool will turn back around and then the whole argument start back up.
Oh man!
Be like, man, hey, like, man, I'm gonna go set the weight room up because this is gonna go on for another 10
years. Yeah. Let me with that vacuum, man.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take care of this. And then when I walk back in the gym, you hear Mo. And what? And another thing, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna go do this, and I'll be. I had the time of my life, man, and I appreciate you guys having me on today. I love being able to talk to y'all, man, and it's been a good time.
Appreciate you, man. Yo, travelers, man, check us out on the Success Journey Show at thesuccessjourneyshow.com. Hey, we love that you guys were here with us today. Hey, Coach Rob, real quick, we didn't ask anyone wants to reach out to you. Is there social media?
Oh, shoot. Hey, you know, I got to look. Man, I'm okay. I am on Twitter and it's at Coach2RZ. Mm-hmm. On Instagram, but I can't even tell you like that is like Instagram's on some other, bro. Like that's some like season 1. Like, hey, be careful what you say yes to on Instagram.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? My wife looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm just like, how am I supposed to know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what this is.
I don't know. I do not know how this big booty got on my phone. I wasn't me though, babe. I'm trying to tell you, like right now. But I know I should post more. They all tell me that, but you know, I'm kind of old school like that.
That's it. Yeah, I feel you.
I am, and I be my kids like, you got to do that, and I'll be like, son, my moves will always be louder than my social media moves.
There you go.
Sir.
There you go.
And maybe I'm not as popular. If I could do other things, but it's just too much, man.
You got things to do.
Yeah, I got things to do, man. That's for sure. But today was the thing I wanted to do, and I enjoyed it, fellas.
Man, I'm happy that you had you.
Well, travelers, man, we'll see you guys next week at the same time, at the same place on the Success Journey Show. Everyone have a good one. Peace.
You've been listening to The Success Journey Show, where your dreams, drive, determination, and diligence are the foundation to success. For more information, check out thesuccessjourneyshow.com. The Journey Squad is here helping you to your destination.